Kim Eibrink Jansen, having another wonderful universal chat. Today we're talking about the universal business with the most amazing author of the book coming up for air with Andi Rondestvedt. I hope I've said that right, Andi. So come along and watch us, Andi and myself, as we talk all about her new book coming up for air and about the universe and the universal business and how amazing, what this amazing journey is that we're on. So have fun and enjoy. Okay. Hey everyone, Andi and I are going to have an awesome chat today about what we are playing with at the moment. So Andi has just written the most amazing book, which we're going to talk about. And I, of course, are going into the second installation, if you want to call it, of universal business, universal life, all that sort of thing. So Andi and I have known each other for a little while, and we've worked together, and we're experiencing the most amazing things through what we're doing personally, but also together through the universal business. And it's just the most amazing process. So what we want to do is we wanted to just kind of share some little tips and little things that we've learned along the way, and hopefully that might help someone who has been drawn to listen to this today. So thank you, Andi, for having this beautiful chat with me.
Oh, I was looking so much forward. It's just so lovely to see you again and talk again. Yes.
Yay! So tell us a little bit about your amazing book and where the inspiration came from to write it.
Absolutely. I would actually love to show it to you first, because I just fell in love. I fell in love with the cover myself, and the whole process actually started now. It's been pretty much exactly a year ago, and I've gone through some extremely rough times where I did not know where to turn to or how to get out of it, and then at some morning, I remember I was waking up and I just felt like I could write it down. I could start writing about everything that has happened in the last few years, because it was always in my head. Mm-hmm. And
got to get it out.
Yeah, I could just get it out and start writing about it for myself. That was the funny thing. First, I thought, I'm just going to write for myself. So when my smaller boy, he was having his nap at lunch, after lunch, I would have my 1 or 2 hours and I would write. And I pretty much had the story already, like I was going to write it like a story, but I didn't know then that I was going to share it. And after a while, I just thought, when I was thinking about my story, that it could really help others. Because I believed I can't be the only one, feeling stuck or dealing with a difficult time in life. I've heard it from others. And then I thought I could write this book. Yeah. And I started doing this outline, and that's what I did. Like every day I put aside an hour or two. And that was interesting. I told myself I have to give myself kind of a goal when I'm going to be done with it. And that I set in December. So I gave myself a whole year, and that's what I did. And I was very happy. And last December 8th, when I published it, I was happy that I could actually stick to that. Mm-hmm.
So you are now classified as an author.
Which is absolutely so lovely. I mean, I love saying it.
It is very classy and very exciting. And I'm also sure that there's a lot of people out there that want to do the same thing. They want to get their message across. They want to be able to share exactly what they want to share. And I love how you said how it was all in your head and so forth, and you thought, well, I might just write it out for myself. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden other people benefit from it. And that's really a really big part of what I teach in universal business, is that you kind of don't do it for anyone else but yourself, right? And when you do something for yourself, put yourself first, other people always benefit. And that's a universal law pretty much. So
Absolutely. And I really remember thinking, reading through the whole thing again and again. I almost got addicted after a while. I write my story probably 100 times, but what it did in the one way was it helped me heal. I just went through it again. It's like chewing, a cow, how she chews things 5 times until she digested it. And that's what I did. I read it again and again and again. And then I was really ready to say, it does take a little courage to, open up and say, hey, here you are. Here's my story. Now you can read it. It's very personal, but I was ready to say, now you can have it. And I can really recommend that, how you say it's very good to move forward, that's what it's good for, to move forward.
So from a business point of view, for example, is that a lot of people will think, well, I need to create something for other people. But in essence, it's really creating whatever you love, doing whatever you love, and it ends up becoming your business. And so I love that concept.
Absolutely. And I keep thinking, because you taught me that in your universal business, you taught that to keep doing it for yourself. And growing my business now, I'm always coming back to that all the time. I'm like, I hear so much out there. You could do it like this or like this or like this, or I know, people tell you they have their methods and stuff, but it always comes back to, am I having fun with it? Is that something that I feel guided to do? Because if it's not, you're going to stop doing it.
Oh, I just got goosebumps. That's everywhere, actually.
Yes.
It's so powerful, and you can see that the feeling between the two, having to do something or being inspired to do it. One does definitely feel better than the other. And what we know about the universe is that when we feel good and we have high energy and high vibration over something, it's always a success, right?
Absolutely. And there's a journey to that, because you have to start, a lot of us lost that ability to trust your voice. So that's what I loved about the universal business. I started trusting my voice again, where before you would think I better listen to somebody who went through that journey before me, because they know. That's what my thinking before. And after the universal business, I was like, okay, I'm trusting my own instincts. I know I have this wisdom inside of me, and I'm guided the way I'm supposed to be guided. And so that's what I still do today. When I wake up in the morning, my first thought really is the first thought is usually a little freak out. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to ask for guidance, and I'm going to be aware of my thoughts. And then after about an hour or so, when I jump in the shower, that's where my thoughts flow, because that's water. It just, it just does it to you.
It's a conductor.
It's so awesome. Every time, 2-3 thoughts, and I come out of the shower, and the first time before I even get dressed, I write it down. So
we need to have recorders in the shower, don't we?
Yeah, that would be that.
Yeah, I always say there's two things that I always say. If anyone feels blocked or stuck with anything, either have a shower or go for a walk. Because it's that conducting. If you think about electricity, for example, they say don't go outside and go for a walk or go in the shower. It's because you are a conductor, your energy, and you conduct electricity, but you also conduct that wisdom from the universe that we're given. And to be able to know that we have that is an amazing tool. But I want to go back to the trusting, because really, as we know, to really move forward in what we're meant to be doing, and to be trusting the universe and trusting the guidance that we have, it doesn't happen straight away, does it? That trust element. And so there's this game that's played.
No, it's actually like a back and forth. So you can say you learn in circles, with everything. You learn it once, and then you're trying to find again in the outside, who knows the answer, who can help me, and then you're coming back to that. And the more often you do it, you learn that sitting in that good feeling and in that trust will actually move you forward.
Oh, 100%. And it's funny, again, you can feel the difference in energy to getting advice from someone else than getting it for yourself. It's using this process, especially the process that I teach around having a conversation with the universe. It's actually an amazing process, and it empowers us to go, I just got that myself. That information I got myself. Yes, you've been given it from wherever it's come from, but no one has told me that, and it resonates with us. And even though we are all one, we are different. We've got different journeys, and we've got different purposes and everything else. So to get information yourself, it empowers you to then go, well, then I'm going to act on it, or I believe that, or it makes sense, rather than someone telling it to you and then you're going, oh, I'll do it only because I think I have to.
Yes, and I think it's actually one of the most powerful tools that you will ever have for life, because growing up usually, and I don't know if it's mostly for women and girls, but growing up, I feel that a lot of us were raised that we were told that's how it is. That's how everything starts. your parents, and they mean well, I'm not saying anything against that, but you're told by society and your parents that's how it is. So you little by little start losing that trust in yourself.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
so
what
true.
you need to rebuild again. And that's the greatest thing. That's why I love it so much to be on this journey and to use this guidance, you know, that I started using with the universal business. And to,
well, talking about guidance, Andi, is that
yes,
I'm going to talk about the massive leap of faith that you took from moving from one country across the other side of the world to another one. Again, trusting the guidance. Tell us about that process and how that all came
that
about.
was actually an extremely powerful process, because you know what, I just did a video, and exactly the part where I felt the guidance, it made me, even telling the story in the video 2 years later, it made me tear up again, because that moment was so powerful. It was actually two moments where I had. One moment was, we came here for a vacation for 2 weeks.
So you were living in, so where were you?
I was living in Switzerland. I went through a really rough time with a lot of crying, diagnosed with depression, didn't want to do what I was doing anymore. And 2 weeks before my breakdown, we had booked vacation here for 2 weeks in Los Angeles. My husband's American and we always loved California, and we're like, okay, we're going to book 2 weeks here. So after my breakdown, I knew we were going to be here for vacation. But at first I was like, well, am I going to be okay? But I'm so sad. I'm always crying. Can I go on this vacation? And then the woman who was coaching me at the time, she said, that's going to be great for you. It's going to be wonderful. You know, get out of it, see something new, open up. And so the first week was kind of still the same here. When we came to Los Angeles, the first week, I remember I was crying still a lot. I was really down. I was really sad. But then after a week, something happened inside of me. I started to have those little moments of joy again. I started smiling again about little things. I started looking forward to the next day ahead of me. I started enjoying my kids again, you know, like all these joys of life, I started to feel them again. And then that last night before we left, before the plane went back to Switzerland, we were in the hotel, we were sitting in the jacuzzi, and it was the most beautiful night. It was clear. There was like a million stars out. We were in that hot, bubbly water, and we were drinking red wine. And then we just knew, you know, my husband and I, we just knew, we felt it so strong. This is our home. We need to come back here. And it was so extremely beautiful. I will never, ever forget that night. And we planted that seed of a huge dream. And the next moment of guidance was the next day, when I remember exactly the store we were at, and we had to like buy something before we went to the airport, and we went outside of the store. I could feel the sun and the feeling in my stomach, the guidance that I don't want to leave this place.
Wow. But there's the logistics, right, of all your family are back in Switzerland, and you know, you've grown up there, and that, you know, your whole life is there. I mean, it's amazing that you and your husband both had the same thoughts at the same time. So that's a bonus.
It is. And I always say we're very lucky that we carried that same dream. And I always realize that it's absolutely very true. And that was the hard part, you know, when you do that, you felt the moment of guidance, you felt the moment of huge intuition. And then it took us a year to actually make it real. You know how many doubtful nights I had, and how many fears, and how many like, am I crazy? Or what am I going to do, you know, to earn money?
Does
like
that year just last forever? Because when you want to live somewhere else.
It did. Oh my goodness, it totally did. It was so hard to wait. And then what I really did to kind of stay connected was I was thinking of that dream again. I was picturing myself again, connecting with the dream, connecting with that jacuzzi night, connecting with the stomach.
The feeling. It's a feeling universe.
Yes. And then I knew it was right, because the feeling told me it was right.
Yeah.
And the feeling, and I remember putting on my vision board, you know, when I wanted to have my green card, and when I wanted to have what price I wanted to have the house sold, like all this, and it happened, everything. And I worked on it every day with that feeling.
Wow. And you know what? You're not the first person who says to me, as long as you always go back to that feeling, you always achieve whatever you want to achieve. And like you said, you even now, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're not feeling great. but then you got to put yourself back into that feeling, and magic really does happen.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. And I believe that you can achieve things even if you don't feel good, but I think it might take so much longer. It's so much more hardship. And really what I learned through like being conscious about having fun. Like this part was just so new because we all have these beliefs, when we grow up, and I heard these sentences like money doesn't grow on the trees and you have to work hard to be successful. And it had this kind of like,
not a good feeling.
No, and you feel like scared about it. And so I learned that you can have all this just by, guided through your joy.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. That's like that's for me, like, groundbreaking, really. Like,
so what was the action step? What was the thing that really made it all happen, that big move?
The steps I had to take to come over here. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing with the green card. You would not believe, even when you're married to an American, but what it takes, like the jungle of documents that I had to go through and read all that stuff. And then you can't reach anybody on the phone, you can try to talk to these people. You're not going to be able to talk to them. So I was constantly communicating, like, okay, one time I really needed to talk to somebody, and we kept being, hung up, or nobody was there. And they said, this phone is not in business anymore. And I said, I really need to talk to somebody. I was talking with the universe. And then finally, after half an hour or 45 minutes, I actually got to talk to somebody. And it taught me again, like, don't give up, and just stay connected. And what I had in my room, what helped me too, was I had these pictures. I had all these palm trees that we took pictures of, and all these like vacation reminders, memories. I had them all in that room. It was really, that's what I did. I had this room that was kind of like an altar.
Yeah.
This divine place where I had
creating the energies in your reality, even though it's not your reality yet.
Yes, that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
And so this is it. If someone wants something, create the energy already in your now, and it'll happen.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the difference between like how some people do it and how you can do it with the universal business method is just you can do it with joy, because what I learned and what I'm taught sometimes with my cards when I do card readings is my dream was born out of love. That was love, like absolutely, completely love for myself, love for my family, love for life. And you want to keep riding that love wave, even though fear might come in between, or even though you have self-doubts and all that stuff, but you want to ride that love wave. And when by having fun, you're able to do that.
Yeah. Well, what do they say? Love is the most powerful force in the universe.
Absolutely true.
So you've been now in LA for how long?
For 8 months.
Okay, how's it going now? So the dream, because again, you could dream this amazing life, and then when you get there, because you were on vacation back then, and now not in vacation.
And it's actually, that's what I felt like. I knew like the first part of the book, I knew what the first part of the book was going to be, my past and my struggles, and I knew the second part was going to be exactly what you said. That's interesting. Doesn't every movie end like when they get married or when they fulfill their dreams? Well, I thought that's really interesting what happens afterwards, and I didn't know. So what I did was I started recording my experiences every day when I came here, and that was going to be the second part of my book, because I wanted to have the reader to be part of this experience of how do you do it now? What happens next?
And not a lot of books do that.
No.
You create the dream and then
exactly
done.
Yep.
So this is
the interesting part is what I really learned. My biggest life lesson now is this. I was afraid before, how I told you, I would wake up at night, sometimes being afraid of this big step, this big leap of faith. And I thought, well, that fear is probably going to leave me sometime. And that is not true. I've learned that when you walk towards your big dreams and when you do big things in life and when you have big dreams, your fear is kind of, going to show up again here and there. you're going to feel down sometimes. You're going to feel challenged. You're going to have self-doubts. Like we all know we have good and bad days. But what I've learned with this divine guidance from the universal business method is I have learned to kind of gracefully move through that, because I pretty quickly understand what's going on. I understand there's a fear coming up, and it tells me to become aware. So I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? Like exactly it happened before I published a book. I was freaking out. I was in the kitchen and I was feeling so bad. And I told myself in my head, everything was a mistake. I'm going to move back to Switzerland. I'm going to teach again. And then after a couple hours, I started understanding what was happening.
Yeah.
It was the next big step. I did something I'd never done before. So I knew that, the fear just tried to like warn me, like with like these red lights in my head, like you're going to like step into unfamiliar territory, and we've never done this before. So wow, dangerous. But because I was aware, I just knew I could just like guide myself through it again. And that's powerful, because that's most powerful, because then you can do anything.
And doesn't it come down to, not only trust the universe, but you trust yourself?
Yes, exactly. And it's a combination, right? It's a combination. You trust the universe, but you feel connected to the universe. So you start trusting your intuition, your decisions,
and you become one. You become one. And so it is a partnership. It is a really beautiful partnership. And really, when you do connect with that level of guidance that we all have access to, we all have access to.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. We all have access. No one is different to anyone else. Everyone has access to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. When you do, and I mean, it does take, and you can tell me this, it does take a little bit of time to get that nice balance of that really feeling connected to feeling that complete trust. It doesn't happen like that. There is a process.
No, absolutely. Because nothing in life just happens like that. You learn that, you kind of grow the muscle. That's my favorite thing to say.
Grow the muscle. That's amazing.
and then one day you're going to have that muscle. You can use it, and it's going to be an extremely helpful muscle for your life.
What I'm being told now, and as we're talking, is that through this process, you have created yourself, because everyone's different. You've created your own life tools on how to deal with, stuff that comes up. And I love how you said that when it does come up, that all you need to do is acknowledge it and go, well, hello again. Mm-hmm. Nice to see you, but you're not going to run my life. And so what are some of the tips and tools that you have now created in your own life, so that when you don't feel good, when you acknowledge the fear come up, when the night terrors and the thoughts that come up that you can't do it, is that what do you do now when they come up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have different things I do. The most powerful thing is probably nature, that I go outside into nature, because there I never feel I have a problem. I could feel like inside my walls, this is a huge problem, or I don't know how to keep going. And then I go outside and I just surround myself by nature, and everything inside of me calms down.
Amazing. And how simple is that?
How simple is that? Yeah, it's really true. And then another thing I do is, what really helped me through the toughest time was that I started running again every morning. That I was just for 20 minutes, and I put on this beautiful music, really powerful stuff. And what I did, I opened up my crown chakra, really like a funnel, and I asked for the love to come in. And it just made me feel so powerful that everything else was just not, I didn't feel all the dark stuff, all the fears anymore.
Yeah.
So the making me feel good, that it could be nature, it could be running, is one of the biggest tools that I have. When you're in joy, you're not afraid, right? So that's
absolutely. And also, when you do take yourself into those areas, and you do take yourself out of the fear or what have you, you're living in the present. And when we have our energy and our vibration fully focused on the present, we get 100% access to all of it. And that's where we can really manifest or, create, and be able to create whatever, when we don't worry about the past or think about the future, as it's all about now, right? And there's power in that. And really, I feel like this whole transition from Switzerland to, California, and taking those leap of faiths and so forth, is just really pushing you to just be living in the moment.
It's actually a chapter in my book that I'm talking about this. There was a moment of realization that the power of now, and I've read books before, about the power of now, and you can read something, but when you're not ready to understand it, you're not going to get it. And I really felt that power of now, that when you jump on that now wave, that you will never think about the past or feel stuck in the past, and you don't think about the future, because I felt right now, whatever I want to create, I can just do it right now. I can make a video right now. I can write a blog post right now. I can write a book right now. It's just
you can do anything. The power of now. It's absolutely right. But I really think it's important too to acknowledge that you can read it. You can see the power of now. Someone can tell you about the power of now. And everything else that we learn. People can say, do this, do that, or what have you. But really, when it's the right time, and it's what I call it just clicks one day, and that's where, say for example, with Universal Business, everyone gets to do it. I run it twice a year, right? So everyone gets to do it again and again and again, because different things.
Yep.
And it changes. I mean, new things click for me too, so I add that in. So it's like this amazing journey, and I was reading some. Asking it is given from Abraham Hicks, and again it just comes into, why do we have this perception that once we get there everything will be okay? Well, why don't we just say we're on this amazing journey together? Like I just love all my guys and all my groups, and we're together, we're on this journey together. Get rid of this perception of getting to somewhere and then you're there. How boring is that? Who wants to just get somewhere?
I know. No, and it's not hard. It's not easy to let that one go, but it's a really important one. Yeah, it's really important, because actually your journey is like, it teaches you just so much beautiful stuff, where when you're there, all you can do is enjoy it, but the teaching stuff happens like to the journey to where you're going.
And who says that the journey has to be hard, right? Like, as you said, you learn new tools along the way, and those tools can help you to enjoy the journey rather than the journey kind of taking over and you having to suffer in it, really.
Exactly. From ancestors and parents, that life has to be hard, that we have to rewrite, like we have to actually rewrite stuff in our DNA today, that we can say, no, we believe something different, and we're going to teach our kids something different. And that's very powerful, but we first have to live that ourselves.
And understand it. Like, it's the understanding. And I think that it is becoming the understanding is starting to click for a lot of people now, which is really cool, because we're all in the same environment, we're all on the same journey, and then we can share it together, which is so beautiful. And that's what I love about all the group work that we do, and working with lots of different people who are having similar experiences, and being okay that everyone has different experiences, and that everyone has different aha moments and different things. And so this is where the energy in a group will actually lift those who are struggling, because it's just energy.
Yeah, I have to say I really enjoyed that. In the weeks that I did Universal Business, I enjoyed the group, which still, it still is. It's like, it's a community, you carry each other, and that's really lovely. I've loved the chats we had, and because you felt like you're not alone. You're not alone on this journey of self-discovery, awareness, and going after your dreams. There's so many others who feel the same way, who work through the same stuff in different fields. And now still having this friendship is beautiful, because I feel very
lifelong. It's lifelong. We've only been doing this for really not even a year, and we feel like we've all known each other for such a long time. And think about all of us in 20, 30 years time having all our amazing, retreats. And oh my God, it's just an amazing journey to be on. And I'm actually so grateful that we have been connected by the universe, and that, that we're together, and I love everyone who has come along with us. And so I want to say thank you to you for, trusting the guidance that I was given to share. And I was amazed. Everyone just trusted that
Absolutely. But that's the feeling again, you know, I mean, I could feel that I could trust you, and I could feel I could trust this process. And it was exactly the perfect moment at the perfect time in my life. That's something that you can feel inside. Yeah. Yeah.
And again, it's that perfect timing. You know, you can never buy that. You can never create that. It just is. And so that's really what it's like with working with the universe. So I have to say, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Very proud of you. You have been on an amazing journey, and you're still smiling.
Yes, more and more.
More and more. And I'm very proud. And I think, you know, what you've done in such a short time has been incredible, really. And it just shows that your future is just going to be brighter and brighter the more that you really do trust and listen and just are guided.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful that you took me on this trip.
Oh, thank you for coming on the trip with me. So we're going into Universal Business again this year. Well, it starts in just over a week. So it's very exciting. So the really big part of it is that group work and everyone coming and us all talking. And it's just such a beautiful process, because if someone is stuck, the others do, you know, come in. It is a group coaching process, because there is a lot of support there, and not only in the Facebook group, but also here. So, but you're, you know, you're a proven example of just when you do trust and listen and work with the universe, that you can do anything. Absolutely.
Absolutely true. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've loved this chat, and we will have more chats, I'm just being told. So, wow, that's exciting. Maybe for the next book.
I know. I've been asked that before, and I'm like, yep, there will be one.
Oh, and, I know there's definitely an next book for you, because it's after the vacation. You know, it's after when you've got to live the vacation life, which people always say, oh, I want to just travel the world and you know, live this life of freedom or whatever. And when you try and combine them into an everyday life, unless you have the tools which you have created or learned from yourself, it's tough to, again, put yourself in this vacation life and make it a reality, really.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So look out, everyone, for the next edition on that. Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. And so that the story doesn't stop, does it? The story doesn't stop. The journey doesn't stop, and we're all in it for the long haul. So
yes, beautiful.
Well, I'm going to give you a big kiss and a big hug from Australia to California. And thank you for chatting with me. It's been a delight.
Thank you.